So anyway, the Christmas party was nice. It was at the House of Blues in the fancy foundation room upstairs. Very nice. Everybody was all dressed up. Everybody was there except for the important people that I wanted to talk to. But
Ouch.
and by the way, when I say that, I mean those are people in programming, not like all the air talent was there. The room was filled with all the air talent except for Skin. He was doing the Mavs game. He was the only one that was missing.
How come Ben didn't have to go?
Ben doesn't do Mavs games.
Just Skin?
Yeah, Skin's the color guy or the play-by-play guy or whatever he does for the Mavs.
Oh, I thought they were just a package deal everywhere they went.
Yeah, that sucks. I've been there with my former partner Kelly. Not a package deal. We do things independent of one another, and so do they. Yeah, everybody was there. I don't know. Got any stories you want to tell?
Well, absolutely. Because what we have here is this sort of Voltron of a station that's coming together in the fact that they are taking elements from different radio eras and stations and forming them together into this new monster. You and I know this, but I'm always amused when people are surprised to find out that all these radio people, if we don't know each other, we all at least are aware of each other and have listened to each other, and we have fully formed opinions about each other. And just like, whatever job you're in, you're hyper focused on other people who do your job. We're hyper focused on all these other radio people. So for the average fan out there who liked the hard line back in the day when it was Michael Reiner and whatever iteration was going on with it, and you liked him, it's a little different level than when you're listening to him and comparing yourself constantly to him, because you just did a show right before him, and what did he say different, and how does he approach it different, and that was one of the things that makes you like him about it, is because you're pleasantly surprised with the angles he takes, and you feel like you learn a lot from him. And so then when you're in the same room, you get to meet him. There's a moment of truth, Pugs. There's a moment of truth where you get introduced to Mike Reiner, and he looks you right in the eye. He goes, "Hey, Mike Reiner." And, someone's pointing at you. "Hey, this is, James." And you say, "James Parker." And you look in his eyes and you see if he goes, "Oh." And if he, right? And if he does, the fact that he says, "Oh," it means everything. But he didn't say, "Oh."
Oh.
Nothing.
Oh. You haven't made it on Reiner's radar. Not yet.
Oh, man. And not that was, I didn't expect to be on his radar, but it would have been a nice bonus, because that's always, it's nice, and surprising when every once in a while you meet someone. It's like, hey, James, this is
so what'd you do? You didn't get the recognition you wanted. How did you make your impact? How did you make your impact? You grab his nuts, do that thing, nut check, really quick. Then you're that guy. You're the guy that nut checks
him real quick.
Something like that. You just right on his forehead, and then you're that guy. You're the guy that thumped him in the forehead.
So
you sheepishly walk away.
Well, look, the comforting part about this is whether you're at a radio Christmas party or like a radio convention, there's certain environments you're in where talk and shop is totally expected and not weird, and actually kind of, it's one of the bonuses of going to these things. And so I just talked about 97.1 for a while. I was like, "Hey, like what you doing with the freak?" "Oh yeah." And I did make sure to steer the conversation into the fact that, man, y'all got 3-4 hour shows. That's too long, man. Wouldn't you rather just do a 3-hour show and add somebody else?
You're that guy.
That
guy. You got to shoot your shot, I guess.
Planting seeds is what I call that. That sounds a little sexual to some people, but I'm using the horticultural metaphor there. Planting seeds is what I call that.
This must have been going on while Kelly Raspberry and I were in the corner making snarky comments about everybody.
Dude, I'm not to be inappropriate. I'm happily married, yada, yada, yada. I forget how hot Kelly Raspberry is. And I know a lot of people think she's cute.
Oh, she's lovely.
I have a borderline fetish for redheads who are pale and tall.
Is she a redhead?
I don't know if she's naturally a redhead, but she always shows up with red hair. So yes, and in my observation, she is just hitting the mark, and she has a cute face.
Oh, she's a lovely person. She's got a boss bitch kind of vibe that I just really have always liked.
And she's at the party, and she's so cool. She's like Molly Ringwald in the 80s. Like, she's at the party and doesn't even like she's having fun. I hate my dad.
Oh, our girl Lindsay's in the chat room. Let's say hi to our girl Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
What's she got saying? Well, I mean, iHeart isn't just a regular radio company. It's no, as we were talking about earlier, it's the biggest. It's the biggest. And what Lindsay was there. Lindsay was at the party.
Wait, she typed the same thing twice?
Yeah, yeah, she hit the same thing twice. That's all right. I do continue. So
Okay,
you were
so I
trying
was
to push a Pugs and Parker show.
I didn't say Pugs and Parker
No, you
because
don't.
it's dumb if he doesn't know who my damn name is. So why
Right.
even like he gives a crap? He doesn't know who I am. So I've established that. I'm just saying, like, this whole idea of adding shows and working less, wouldn't that be great?
He
Uh,
doesn't. He doesn't listen to nationally syndicated AM radio. I guess that's just all you. It doesn't mean you're nobody. It just means that he doesn't know
but
that
look, I was in
you're a
Dallas.
host in your own right who has shows, all over the country. That's all right.
I was in Dallas though for a while, and I did Mavericks themes and Rangers themes and things that could have possibly popped up on his radar, but I don't expect him to remember that from 19 years ago. But here's the I did meet Kelly Raspberry. This is like the fourth time I've met her. Didn't remember me either. I suck, dude. Like,
You're a very forgettable dude.
Damn, hey, I look generic is my problem.
Hey, the whole Reiner thing, don't feel bad because I knew Reiner years ago, of course, and then worked with him when we jumped over to the Bone. We worked in the studio right next to him, saw him every day. And he was brought over. I'm talking to Kelly Raspberry. Bayless walks by. Danny Bayless walks by, who I love. Who I'm like just such a freak for Danny. Danny walks by. Danny stops. Pugs. I'm like, Danny. Big hug, right? So now we're all standing. Reiner sees Danny there. Reiner comes over to find Danny. Now it's Reiner, me, Bayless, and Kelly Raspberry, and Bayless introduces me to Reiner, like, hey, look, it's Pugs. And Reiner goes, oh, hey, how are you? He gives me the whole gruff thing.
And he
but wait, then he did that thing. He did that thing. I got bodied by him. You know when there's three people standing there and one of them turns their back so that one of the people are pushed out? Reiner bodied me. He bodied me, and Bayless goes, what are you doing? He goes, what are you doing to Pugs? And Reiner goes, where's Pugs? And Bayless goes, right there. And he goes, ah! Like he didn't even know that he had met, doesn't recognize me, doesn't know me from anywhere, but had to be. It was a very funny moment because he totally. I was for like a minute a person that he did not want to be standing by, so he bodied me, and then he heard I was at the party and went, "Where is he?" And I was right behind him. So
well, that's good. At least he
a little moment with him.
Yeah, he like at least secondary remembers you. He didn't
right, not to the face or anything. Just, and I also have the benefit of a crazy name, so know.
I was super excited to meet Danny Bayless too because as a former, I wasn't a P1 of the ticket, but I was almost a P1 of the hardline.
And you did the same thing that he did. You have the same job description. What he did.
Danny Bayless is just me, but 10 years ahead of me. So like. When I was listening to Danny Bayless and working for you, I'm about where he is then, but now he's like 10 years ahead of me. The guy that can actually play music and write songs and still has a snarky, burn down the world attitude.
Hey, hold on, before we coddle, look, Byron, Breaking Bad on the Raspberry. How dare you, sir? You don't know an angel when she flutters down from heaven right before you.
Dude, when you're on the level of Kelly Raspberry, the amount of people who come up to you and ask you for your time is greater than the amount of time you have. So you either turn into a diva turd or you don't go out.
I don't know. I think she's cool. I think she's cool because she has I can see how somebody might say she's cold because she's very cool. Like she's a cool chick, man. She sits there. She doesn't say much. What's that?
She's Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, it's definitely got that kind of Molly Ringwald vibe. Yeah, very. I don't know. I like it.
So meeting Danny Bayless was fun because I have things that I can talk to him about that I know he'll be interested in, because I know all about him and his work. And
You guys are very similar. You guys are
yeah,
extremely similar. The talent, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, but the talent and the X factor that he brings. He is an X factor in a radio show, meaning he's not the driver and he's not the sniper. He is something that cannot be accounted for, and when it's missing, the show suffers in a way that is so obvious. Okay, that is what you were to me. And by an X factor, that means you can do everything from creative production to co-hosting to coming up with a song just out of nowhere that is just amazing. Plays multiple instruments. You play multiple instruments. He records. You record. I mean, you guys have a lot in common. You're very similar. If this was the NFL, you and him would play the same position, is what I'm saying.
yeah, and so I wish he knew who I was so we could have different conversations. So I am stuck with the more shallow thing where now I get to meet Danny Bayless, and I'm not going to get any work thing accomplished here, get on any deeper level. So I just want to have fun with Danny Bayless. So I was like, Danny Bayless, are you wearing an ascot? And he's, no, this is just a regular scarf. I'm like, that's a really short scarf, which I think would qualify to be an ascot. Danny Bayless, did you go to a department store and did you ask the guy who worked there, where are the ascots? And then you went through the different ascots and you picked out which ascot was right for your neck. He's like, go ahead.
You called out the king of cool on a fashion risk. He made a fashion. He knew when he put that thing on that there was a chance that someone might be out there and they might call him on it and he might have to have something to say about it. And you're the guy who did it. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, and look, here's the thing is I have no fashion sense, so I'm in no place to be telling anybody what they should and shouldn't be wearing. Number two, it actually looked really cool on him because he had like sort of the earth tone jacket and then the smoky blue scarf on that was twirled up and kind of tucked into his jacket with the shirt that was, I mean, it was.
You know how he carries himself? He carries himself like a musician who had a couple of #1 hits in the 90s and hasn't done a whole lot since then. So when you run into him, right? Like if you told me that he was in like, I don't know, Better Than Ezra, I'd go, yeah, okay, I can see that. He was the guitar player in Better Than Ezra. Yeah.
We can make another tonic reference here.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, that's sort of that's the energy that he brings, you know, like he kind of he's a musician and he's used to playing on stage.
Keyboards and the Black Crows or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Something like that. Although I would go even lower than the Black Crows. So I picked like Better Than Ezra, like a one-hit wonder.
Harvey Danger.
too young. It's got to be something late 80s, early 90s to fit his age.
Oh, so like a one-hit wonder then?
He was the original guitar player in Train.
Train is the bazillion hit wonder. You're thinking, I don't know. Great White. I don't know. So the thing is he never owned up to the ascot. He stuck with the scarf bit. And well, yeah, good for him. I didn't care anyway. But
you never give in to fashion mockery. If you have the confidence to wear it, then anybody who calls you out on it must be defeated in battle.
There's other ways around it. You could be like, that bitch wife made me wear this.
No. Why? No, then you're not confident in what you wear. Everything I wear, I'm confident in. Somebody wants to take a poke at me, let's go. I'm loaded for bear.
There's
it on the bike, you a bitch.
But here's the thing I liked about the interaction. As we went through it, I could tell like he genuinely was enjoying this because everyone else is making small talk like, hey, I love your show at the Freak. You think Corby's mad at you? Or, you know, just
you don't want to be that guy.
No, you know, people are either poking
that guy's in you because that guy's in me too.
Because I don't want to piss off Danny Bayless. This is the first time I meet him. I want him to like me. I want him.
But above and beyond seeing ourselves as, in some regard, contemporaries in the same industry, we're also fans, right? And we want the gossip and we want to know all that stuff. So,
yeah. Huge fan of both of those guys. So you don't really want to screw it up. Here's a smart thing, though. I didn't start drinking until I got there. So I was like totally sober and didn't do anything stupid.
So like a normal person? You didn't, like a normal grown-up going to a work function. You waited until you arrived to have your first cocktail. You didn't pregame in the parking lot? You are a hayseed.
Yes, I am.
Is that?
Dude, it's a party is what it is, Pugs.
It's a work function.
I consider this work function. This was very much a work function. Here's the other thing. I actually spent the most time with Lacey, and Lacey is like me. We're just little hustlers. Like we're just scanning the room. Who do we need to talk to next?
Yeah.
You know,
She's good.
let's start ranking the people. I'll go talk to them. You go talk to them. Do you know them? This is who that is. Do you know them? I know them. This is who that is. Did you know they did this? And oh man, we were just scheming and scamming, and we are peas in a pod.
Yeah,
You
she really likes you. She was I don't mean like, you know what I
Of
mean?
course.
I
No,
mean
no, no.
like
Me and her, we can get a lot done. You just give us, point us in a direction. And I've worked with people like her before. You know, she's
yeah.
kind of like Sybil. Like you can ask her to do something and you turn around and it's done.
That's what I've always pegged her as. That's from the time that she was an intern on my show. She was a Sybil protege. She was the next Sybil, you got to train her up because we're not going to be able to keep you. So we're going to need another one. It's anyway, it's good times. All right, anything else for the Christmas party? I had a couple other people that I want to mention who we hung out with. Billy the Kid. How wonderful would it be to grow up and be Billy the Kid? I mean, that dude's just. I look at his life and I go, "Oh, I want that life."
What
That's
sucks?
what I want.
Me and him are the same age, and he's just wildly more successful than me. And so, like when we worked together back at when I was on 105.3 and he was on 100.3, I mean, he was like up here on the hierarchy, and I was down here, but we're the same age. Like, how did he get up here and I'm just down here?
He started earlier, different paths, you know.
Oh, you mean much more successful path is what you mean, because now he has a nationally syndicated show and he owns a restaurant and
and he looks like $1,000,000. Billy looks like $1,000,000 every time I see him, and every time I see him, I go, "My God, you do not age." You know, the dude is. It's got to be like 40. Well, he's 46, so he's 46 years old.
45. Thanks.
Handsome as hell, although not like here's the thing I would say about Billy. Billy is not George Clooney handsome. He's not Brad Pitt handsome. He's just got such a style, swagger, and confidence that whatever it is he's working with is like magnified. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, I love it. So good to see Billy. Also,
wait. To Billy the Kid's credit, he did remember me. He was a guy that
sure.
When I said James, he goes, "Oh no, yeah." I didn't even have to say Parker because we really did work together for about 3 years there, and I always thought that was one of the wild dichotomies is in adjacent studios to 105.3 to where Pugs and Kelly was. One of them was Russ Martin. The other one was Kiss FM.
No, it wasn't Kiss FM. What was it called?
Hit 103.
Hot 103. Wasn't it Hot?
Yeah. Hot 100.3.
Hot 100?
Yeah. Yes. Hot 100. There you go. I still have like one of their shirts in my closet.
Mm-hmm. It was our knockoff Kiss format. That's
right. Look, Fitz knew who I was, and Billy the Kid knew who I was, and Bethany knew who I was, but Russ Martin never knew who I was. Right?
Hey, Fitz and Bethany are still married?
No, I didn't know. What?
Oh, yeah, man. Fitz and Bethany got married 20 years ago, 15 years ago now. They got a bunch of kids. They're happy. They are wonderful.
He already had like 6 kids or something, didn't
he? Fitz liked the sex.
Yeah, I think he had 4 kids from the first chick that he didn't marry, but they kept having kids, and he would date other people but still have kids with this chick. And then he got with Bethany, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on in the world, but they seem happy, and I'm a loser, so I don't question other people, and that's all fine with me. But he was super nice to me. She was super nice to me. Billy the Kid was super nice to me. And it turns out that this other guy didn't know me. Didn't. Right? And I think that's an excellent measure because I was an absolute loser who had accomplished nothing back in those days. And Billy the Kid still remembered me. I've done a whole lot since then, but what a good dude. And yeah, he looks like one of the mannequins at Neiman Marcus, like a khaki pea coat. Who would even wear that?
No, he's just such a cool guy. All
right. Now let's go to the other side. Who else was really cool that was there? I would like to shout out Groobs.
Groobs was awesome. Dude. Yeah.
Like, where did he come from? Because he was shot out of a cannon. Like, he was so happy to be there. Was he out of the business for a while? Is that why he's so excited?
Yeah, Groobs left the tickets, and then he went and he was the in-stadium DJ and fun ambassador at Ranger games. That's a good job where, you do that for the race. So that's what he was doing. And then he came back.
Well, maybe I don't know if he was, maybe some of this was alcohol fueled, but he was like, "I am so glad to be here. I am so excited about this whole freaking station.
No, no, he is.
I cannot believe who all we've put together, man. And we've got like Pugs coming on, so we've got like the old 105.3 vibe going, and we got like the old ticket vibe going, and then we got whatever the hell Ben and Skin we're doing, and like someone lit a fire under his ass. He was ready to go."
No, he's pumped. Yeah, if you follow him on Twitter or anything, he's pumped. He's what again? Again,
He
what
get
they've
me
done.
excited though. He was like I'm you know how you can get a little dog excited just by, yeah, let's go. Grooves had me excited. I'm like, let's go. Where are we going? Yeah, let's go.
Byron says he was with the Stars. Is it possible he was with both? I thought he was with the Rangers, but you could be right, Byron. Yeah, Grooves is just another example of how they just went out of their way to just get good people, just get nice guys, just get a bunch of really fun, good people who like one another. There are no assholes. There really aren't. There are no assholes at that station.
Well, look, my concern here is that it's getting very ticket heavy. And you are the only person really from the whole 105.3 clan before it went sports.
Yeah.
That you can point to say, look, they're not a sports station. I know they say they're not a sports station, and they've hired about 30 trillion sports people, but it's not. It's not all sports. And so there's you and AO kind of fills a little bit of that gap, but they need a little more non-sports in there if they're going to establish that credibility.
They're format fluid. They're they're not sports. They're not. I wouldn't call it the sports.
I don't want to. I don't know.
Wait, we got to throw another KT. Oh God, we met KT too. He was awesome. He was fun. He and Groobs came over and lit a fire in our little corner. I hadn't met. I think I'd met Groobs once before years ago, but I'd never met KT before. Although I think he said we did meet, but I don't remember. They were great. And the last person that I want to shout out who walked into that room, you want to talk about like a vision from heaven? How about our girl Jasmine Sadri? How about Jasmine?
Ooh.
Oh my God, Jasmine of the former Jagger show. She walked into the room and I immediately looked over and I go, whoa, what have we have here? And then as she's walking, she's smiling at me and I'm going, whoa, why is this incredibly hot girl smiling at me? And then I go, oh shit, it's Jasmine. It's like, never mind. It's Jasmine.
I didn't know her until you said that. And then I looked at her and I was like, you're right. That looks like Jasmine's incredibly hot younger sister is what it looks like.
Yeah. Whatever she's doing, it's working. She looks great.
And you look better than you did 15 years ago. What'd you do? Like,
yeah, how many women? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't even venture to guess what Jasmine's age is, but she was probably in her 20s back when we knew her. And what woman could say that 15 years after being in your 20s, you're better looking and more beautiful? And she wasn't. She was very pretty back then. She was a cute girl, but we saw her. She was working a morning show. She showed up in t-shirts, ponytails, and sweatpants.
That's exactly what I had the picture that had burnt in my face. Plus, she did the thing my wife did where she had a cute, like, little round Cabbage Patch doll face when she was in her 20s. And then as the baby fat melts off, now she turns into, like, this sharp-pointed Giselle Bundchen looking face.
Yeah, she's like, pretty.
Oh, I think you're hotter.
It was good to see her. She's doing well. So okay,
what is she doing? What is she doing up there? Where does she?
She's working with. I'm not entirely sure. She's doing something with the marketing or sales or something. But she's brand new. And she's got a killer great podcast that I used to listen to. I used to really enjoy it. I can't remember what it's called. First and Hot. I don't know. It's like two girls doing football. It's something like that. It's like I don't know. First and sexy. I don't know. All right, so we ran it down. So Kelly Raspberry, oh God, she was awesome. She was my favorite part of the night.
I was not there. Don't ask.
You weren't there. What do you mean?
Al was not there.
Oh yeah, Al wasn't there. Yeah.
That other guy that was there from the Kid Craddock show. I hung out with
JC. Was he there? I didn't meet him.
No, not that. Well, JC definitely was there, but I didn't get to talk to him. He spent a lot of time on the microphone, like giving away prizes. They had that dude working.
He was emceeing. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you making him work? He's like the second biggest name here. So
no one would have dared ask Reiner. No one would have dared ask Reiner or Kelly. That's why.
Kelly, yeah. Those are the two biggies there. No, that was the other guy, like the flamboyant gay guy. I can't remember his name, but I had a good time talking to him because I had mentioned that I had worked with the trans in New Orleans, and he had all kinds of questions, and so it felt really weird that me, Parker, the hayseed from the horse ranch in Bug Tussles, explaining the trans culture to a fella in the neighborhood in Dallas. You know, he's like, "How does all this work?" And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you how this works."
People are complicated. You know, you never can know.
Oh no, what a fun world, right?
Who else was there? I'm trying to think of did we miss anybody else? I don't want to be. I didn't mean that. I didn't meet Mike Soroy, but he was there. I
He's
don't. I
there.
don't know
I
Christina
wanted
Ray.
to meet him. I wanted. See, that's the
He
guy I've never met. I've never met him.
he was the guy. And look, this is not. I think he's incredible. Here's what I love about him. He's an incredibly talented guy, and I was so excited when they teamed him with Reiner because I was a fan of what he was doing at the ticket. But he is not only an incredibly talented guy, he is a genuine sweetheart. Like his whole brand on the air isn't that. I mean, I came from the 90s, man, where everybody was like, no fat chick, shut up, man. Yeah, hang up on that dude. You're a D-bag. You know, that's like the era that man, he's the pendulum in the other direction. He's the, hey, my friend, how are you? Like just
Very
so
Ted Lasso.
nice. Yes, Roy has a very Ted Lasso, but not a bumpkin. He's really smart and really quick-witted, like really quick-witted. So not a bumpkin, and Lasso's a bit of a bumpkin, and that's kind of why you love him. But yeah, I would like to know him. I don't know him. But what I love about him is every time you see him at one of these things, and I've seen him now from across the room at a couple of these events, everybody's wearing sport coats. Everybody's wearing sport coats and dress pants, and giving a little bit of respect to the room, right? Like he's t-shirt, ball cap, blue jeans. He's the guy at all of these things wearing totally not dressed appropriately. The only guy who was wearing like an Adidas t-shirt, some faded blue jeans, and a baseball cap.
No one's accusing him of having an ascot.
No, he is not. Danny Bayless brought the ascot. Mike Soroy would never be caught dead with the ascot. Christina, I didn't even see Christina, but I'm a big fan of hers as well. I don't know her. Who else?
Julie was there.
Julie Dobbs was there. Yeah. Yes. And I was totally unfamiliar with her until recently, and I love her on the morning show, and I love the stuff that I've heard. I think she's a little spark plug of fun, but I didn't get to meet her either. I don't know her.
I always find it funny when these like little, like she's not short, but she's very thin, and they have a personality that's like a freight train coming at you, but you meet them in person, it's like you're not.
You're not as scary.
Anyone for 5 seconds.
Okay, so who else? Jeff Kavanaugh, I didn't see him there. I don't even know that he was there. KT we met. So we met someone from the morning show. We Ben when we first walked in, but then he was, the man being bounced around all night. So mostly it was the afternoon show, I guess. It was Bayless and Reiner. They were probably the ones that we spent the most time with, right?